Okay, I think I say good morning just once, so good morning. I have the honor to chair the fireside chat at first, which is titled Connecting Continents, the Africa-Europe Opportunity. And for that, I would like to invite to the stage the Minister of Digital Transition and Technological Innovation of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, Mr. Djibril Outtara. Here, it's fine. He's quite a recent minister. Yeah, I think we can sit and then see whom we are going to invite, who will be the other guest on the stage. He's quite recent minister, only since January, but he's coming from your community, from business, has a degree in engineering, in addition to which he also has degrees in management and economy from Paris, Sorbonne, and also from MIT, United States. So has been in telecommunications and leadership positions for decades now already, although it doesn't look like for decades, but probably has the experience to prove it. And the other person I would like to invite is I think the main face of Estonian foreign and security policy, main non-political face. The permanent secretary of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Jonatan Vseviov. As I said, the face of our foreign and security policy. Before that, he has been also permanent secretary of our Ministry of Defense and our ambassador to the United States. So, okay, let's start with a guest here. Minister Outtara, your biography shows that in addition to several African countries, you know also the opportunities that Western Europe and United States have to offer. Why did you decide to come to Estonia? What are you looking for here?
Thank you for the question, but I think that something is missing in reality in your question, is that through 2 decades, I've been in the telecom industry, and I've been also interacting with Chinese company. So I have a lot of experience in Western Africa, in North America, but also with China. And today I'm coming to Estonia because something different is happening in Estonia. If you are looking at the challenges our nation are facing at the moment in Africa, is mainly how to formalize better the business environment and how to ease the life of our citizens. And I think that Estonia, for the past let's say 30 years, has built a strong asset to support the citizenship and to support as well the development of the businesses. Today, when you are talking to people, multilateral partners for African country, all of them are talking about AI. But to be at the stage of proven AI that is supporting really citizenship, private sector, and public services, you need to have a digitalization of your own processes. I'm talking about the government processes, but also you need to develop innovation in your country to support the private sector. And I think Estonia has totally proven that there is something to learn here. There is something to take away from this country. I say it's a new country almost. Although I know that you guys are your long story, but you have been building this country for the past 30 years, and with a strong leadership, with a strong policy, a strong governance in terms of digitalization. What is not the case actually in the Western countries like in Europe and in North America, because you have already let's say, strong administration coming from a long period of time. In China as well, you have a deep involvement of the government. It is a different way to do, and they are very active in Africa, but in a different way. They are coming with the equipment. The main idea is to be able to export what they are actually the government is supporting in terms of let's say production in the country. So we are coming here to meet partners, to learn from them, and because we believe that in terms of digitalization, even if some people believe that what has been done here cannot be fully replicated, cannot be scaled up in the largest country, we believe that it is possible, and with a strong partnership. And because we have, let's say, emerging administration that are not like what is in the countries like in North America, in Europe.
Secretary Vseviov, you heard what the minister is hoping to find here. What are the things you would highlight that to confirm that, yes, you made the right choice when you decided to come to Tallinn and learn about those things?
So first of all, thank you all for being here. I'm impressed by the huge turnout. Usually when you do something for the first time, you can attract people. You do it for the second time, for the third time, people come back. It means that there must be something there. And although I am very confident in the ability of our organizers, whom I obviously thank, I think it's bigger than that. The reason why you're here is because you see potential in, for the Estonians in the room, you see potential in Africa, and for the Africans in the room, you see potential in Estonia, and I'm glad to be a small part of it. I also listened carefully to Daniel's ambassador's opening remarks, and he underscored the fact that you're not going to be having boring panels this year. And I was thinking to myself, and on behalf of myself and the minister, dear Lord, what is it that we will be doing? And then listening to you, Evelyn, I was both shocked and reassured by your introductory remarks. I was reassured by the fact that this is not a panel. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a fireside chat. There is no fire, but it's a fireside chat, so not a panel, no need to worry. I was obviously shocked when you introduced me as the face of the Estonian foreign policy, which always gets me in trouble later on. So let me just underscore that the things that I will be saying that you consider to be unwise, ill-informed, mistaken, those are my personal observations. The things you like, you can feel free to attribute to the Estonian government as our official policy. Having now gotten this out of the way, well, I think what the minister was saying was, I think, extremely important and wise. Informed. The reason why people come to Estonia is because we have something to offer. And it's precisely in the digital domain where we've made a name for ourselves. Not because of the cutting edge of the technology that we use. I mean, there are other countries, first and foremost, not even governments. Obviously, the private sector is a leader when it comes to innovative uses for technology. What's cutting edge here in Estonia, and has been for the past 2-3 decades almost now, is the innovative way we use off-the-shelf technology. The fact that we vote digitally, sign documents in a legally binding way, digitally do things that every Estonian thinks has become the norm and is the norm. I mean, we now have people who are entering conscription who were born after the Estonian digital state was created. So they have no idea that you could actually sign documents on a paper version. They think that the digital is the only way it has always been done. And I think something that we, perhaps Estonians here, fail to recognize, but I think is an important part of the story, we started building the digital state when, frankly, we were poor. We were poor. We had just returned to the map of the world, having just regained our independence. In 1991, most Estonian homes did not have landline telephone connections. Russian occupying forces stayed here until 1994, were finally forced to leave only on August 31st, 1994, which frankly is a blink of an eye away from the birth of the Estonian digital state. So we did it not only overnight, but we did it when we were poor. And we built it from scratch using Estonian know-how, but also the technologies available to the world. And we're not big. So the whole scalability issue, I mean, you go to huge countries, you look at the things they do, and oftentimes you scratch the surface, and there are thousands and thousands of experts they have hired from MIT and other institutions like that. And then you look at this and say, well, this could possibly not be accomplished by us. Well, the Estonian model can be accomplished by anyone because Estonia accomplished it. I think that's the main reason why countries come here, and it's obviously in our keen self-interest as Estonia to promote that. Number one, we think our system actually works. I think it's a good system. We like it. We think it's usable, even in bigger countries. So it should be also scalable. Frankly, there's a business case for us in all of this. We want similar systems around the world so that it would be better and easier for us to interact digitally with other countries in the world. The digital domain should know no difference in geographic terms. Yes, but only if the digital infrastructures can talk to each other. So the more countries of the world use the similar or the same system as we do, the easier it is for Estonians to do business in other parts of the world. And frankly, there's also another business case to be made. Estonian companies built the Estonian digital state. And they would have a better chance of competing against international competitors, global companies, if other countries adopt a model similar to the one that we built. So to all the foreigners here in the room, I assure you, we're keenly interested in cooperating. We're keenly interested not because of altruistic reasons, not because we want to help you. No. We're keenly interested in this cooperation because we want to help ourselves. We think it makes sense to us to cooperate with you. And again, coming here, we hope people realize and recognize that if Estonia was able to do it, any country in the world can do it as well.
Estonia has made it so far that now we are finally able to open our first ever African embassy in Kenya. How do we make it work in a way that the impact of the embassy in Kenya would also be felt in other places in this vast continent?
So you mentioned I was ambassador to Washington, D.C. That was a joke I used to make, and I apologize already for all those who will be insulted. The joke back in those days was that the southernmost Estonian embassy in the Western Hemisphere back in those days was Washington, D.C. It's not, I mean, it's true. And the southernmost embassy that Estonia had until recently on the whole of African continent was in Cairo, Egypt. Southernmost, okay? That's how limited we were only recently when it came to our physical footprint in terms of diplomatic representation. So we're trying to fix that problem now. We're opening an embassy in Brasilia, and we're coming to Africa. We're coming to Africa. We can only do it in small steps. We're a very small country. So Nairobi is going to be the gateway, where we will try to utilize both the traditional diplomatic tools that any embassy brings to the table, but also facilitate business contacts, development cooperation initiatives, not with the city of Nairobi alone, or the country of Kenya alone, but frankly with the region. I know that from our own experience, no country wants to be diplomatically covered from another capital. We always want embassies to come to Tallinn and not cover us from Helsinki or Stockholm or Warsaw or Riga. But if the choice is covering those countries from their capitals or coming to the region is always better. So what we expect to do, we expect to show up. Physically, we have a few people already in country. The official opening of the embassy will take place before the end of this year. I don't know whether we've decided on the date yet, but it's coming. It's going to happen. Then I'm 99.9% certain that The test case will prove to be beneficial, that we will look back at this decision as a wise one, as a decision that might even be replicated elsewhere. So for us, this is a big deal with regard to the whole of Africa. And we expect to reach as many African countries from that embassy as humanly possible. I know that our diplomats will be traveling a lot.
Minister, you have been doing business or running business actually as a CEO in several African countries. What recommendations could you give us in addition to, of course, opening embassy in Cote d'Ivoire next?
No, I first of all to congratulate Estonia for opening not an embassy yet, but a consulate in Cote d'Ivoire last week. Last Thursday, I was invited to the event. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. This is really, let's say, a key milestone for the future. And I believe that something is happening at the moment in Africa. If you are looking at the new leadership in several countries, people who will be running the digital transition. These are, most of the time today, if I'm looking what's happened recently 2 days ago in Benin, and what's happened 1 week or 10 days ago in Brazzaville, people who are coming now and in charge of digital transition are people coming from the private sector and from the industry. This is a good signal because these people know really what's happening around the world, what are the proven, the success stories, and instead of you guys running to go to this country, I'm sure that they will be coming to you. So what you have to do is really to figure out what could be your flagship. I think what you need to identify some countries in East Africa, in Central Africa, in Western Africa, maybe in North Africa as well, to see how you can help the country through strong partnership with local business community. Because we are talking about the competition of nation actually. Western countries, North American companies are coming with global companies, and then there are also only having some subsidiaries in these countries. China is a different model. They are not coming with the capitalistic way to work in the countries. If you are, and all the government today are working to develop local people, to have local champions in a field that people believe. This is not my opinion. People believe that the digital industry is always, we are talking about sovereignty. I have another viewpoint on that, but at least you need to have to build strong partnership with the local business community that will be able actually to be directly interacting with the local environment, knowing people, knowing how business work in this country. And I'm sure that if there is more exchanges between this community in your country, they will learn more about what is happening here. And I'm pretty sure as well that they will be able as well to convince this local stakeholder for partnering further with your companies here. The good thing is that you have already the ecosystem. We built already your network, local network of these spin out from universities, from also the administration that knows the know-how to do. And there will be, I'm sure that if you are leveraging all this ecosystem, this is doable.
Secretary Vseviov, you mentioned development collaboration. Estonian Development Collaboration Agency, ESTEV, is proud of its particular model. Could you explain in what sense it's particular and not unlike the traditional models?
Well, there could be a few things that make us unique, but I guess one of those is the collaborative approach we take. Development cooperation is actually cooperation for us. We partner up with local interlocutors, be they universities or businesses, NGOs, and then develop the projects truly as a matter of partnership. And it's not because we are more open-minded than others. It's because we're small. And we, whenever operating anywhere, I mean, we depend on those partnerships, which of course then makes the relationship more stable and predictable, helps us stay focused long-term, and frankly should be the essence of development cooperation to begin with. That's the whole point. That's the reason why it's called development cooperation, not development aid. By the way, there is again self-interest here built in to this logic from our perspective as well. To the foreigners in the room, I mean, I'm sure I'm not overstating it, but when you go to the Estonian people today, and the Estonian leaders will be going to the Estonian people fairly soon, as we will be having parliamentary elections in March of next year. When they go to Estonian people, it's increasingly difficult to justify something that's seen as a one-way street. That Estonian people are conducting business, then the government taxes them, and then sends tax money abroad. Increasingly difficult to make the case for that. It's increasingly necessary for the Estonian leaders to be able to go to the Estonian people and say that no, this is not a one-way street. It's cooperation. There's something in it for us. And I think we have been able to do it. ESTEF has, our development cooperation agency, has been increasingly successful at telling that story, partly because of the model that we approach, always in partnership with locals, always as a two-way street where we also take something back home. Know-how, relationships, presence in a country that we otherwise would have no presence in, things that are tangible, you can touch them, you can explain them to your people to justify this whole policy area. It's also a function of us being small. I don't think it's us being particularly wise, it's us being small. And depending on those relationships, that has forced us to evolve in such a way, which I think has also been, has proven, the business case has been proven to us. We'll see next March whether the Estonian political leadership is also able to sell it to the Estonian people. Whether or not development cooperation will be topic number one, I'm doubtful. But we've seen all around the world in democratic societies when political players want to draw attention to themselves and undertake somewhat, maybe major undertakings to draw attention to their willingness to severely cut back costs. It's oftentimes development money that gets hit. So by the time we enter our electoral period, I expect ESTEF to have a portfolio of successful cases built in collaboration with our local partners in Africa and in Europe, our two main regions of activity, that help make the case to the Estonian people that these are indeed two-way streets.
Minister, what kind of development collaboration is good and expected and welcomed in African countries or in your country, for example? And what kind of things feel kind of outdated and maybe not really something you would like to see?
Look, the new approach of African country is to look for partnership to execute their own strategy instead of partners who are coming with their already plan or their go-to-market and want to execute in Africa. If you are looking at, in my domain, what we have built in terms of strategy, we have built a strategy around 7 pillars. We want first to accelerate the connectivity to all the citizens where anywhere there are in the country, if like you guys to make sure that internet is a human right for everybody. I like that because of my background, certainly. And then the strategy span to actually developing people. So in all of these dimensions, we are talking about digital industry. In all this industry, all these axes actually the pillar in our strategy. We need proven partnership. Every country today is talking about getting ready for the next generation of AI. Everybody is also exposed to cyber security. Everybody is talking about how to boost actually the development of the innovation ecosystem with local people, local talent. Everybody is also talking about how to make sure that the citizens are having access to the government services without pain. I think in all these domains, Estonia has something to share with African countries. And I also believe that looking at the expansion, the companies in Estonia are looking for, it could be a good opportunity for them to partner with local business community in Africa in order to deliver such promises to these the African countries. So I would say that there is a lot of area of cooperation that we can build with Estonia business community in the digital economy area.
So sometimes we could just call it cooperation. Maybe,
Cooperation.
on the business basis.
Cooperation, someone was talking about we need to co-build together the plan that we have designed for our country. And we are expecting that that could happen very soon.
We have this imaginary fire here. So I would like to ask whether there would be somebody from the audience who would also like to join the fireside and ask a question? Or is it still too early? So you don't want to approach the imaginary fire. So I will go on asking questions myself. Right. Okay, if it's okay for you. You're both here representing interests of your countries. And if you think in perspective, in 5 or 10 years, what could be the result of this specific meeting, this specific journey to Tallinn, or to the meeting with the African diplomats and businessmen that could be seen as tangible result or fruit of this forum?
Starting with me?
Why not?
Okay. I've been appointed Minister of Digital Transition and Technological Innovation in January, as you said. And under these capacities, what I would like actually is to make happen what's happened here. 100% of the government services fully digitalized within 5 years. Another thing, certainly, talking about the technological innovation will be to have the first unicorn for Cote d'Ivoire within, let's say, 10 years.
Okay.
I have to be more prudent on that. So this is if I'm able to if my country is able to reach this level, I will say okay. It won't be maybe with me, but I start in actually putting in place the foundation to achieve that.
Okay, and Secretary.
So just a few numbers for you. Between 21 and 25, we don't have numbers for 2026 yet, obviously. the export of Estonian goods to Africa, the whole continent of Africa, grew from approximately 186 million euros to 258 million euros. The export of goods, we started in 2021 at roughly 200 million euros, and by 2025 we were at 474 million euros. That's just export numbers. So the export of goods grew by more than twice. The export of services by more than twice. The export of goods by more than a third. And this is before us opening an embassy. So what I expect is the tangible growth numbers. Also, growth numbers, we can use other metrics to measure it, but the tangible numbers to increase at a tempo that's faster than the one that we've seen in the past few years. And this is already a fairly high benchmark. I mean, we've grown fairly fast. But then again, when you look at the numbers, we're talking about hundreds of millions of euros in the whole continent of Africa. So it's still early days, I would say. So I think it's ambitious enough to expect the trend to pick up tempo, but also realistic considering the number one, the size of Africa, but what hasn't been mentioned here, the fact that Africa is growing. Africa is growing fast. It's likely going to be the fastest growing continent for the rest of the 21st century. Well, who knows what the end of the 21st century brings, but certainly in the next few decades. It's starting to look awfully similar to what we've seen in other regions before in the past, where certain parameters align, predicting really fast development, really fast growth. And I'm seeing all of these parameters aligning in Africa. If managed well, then the 21st century could very well be Africa's century. Now, for a small country like Estonia, when we see things like that, when we see growth happening somewhere, in Africa, for instance, or Ukraine, which after the war, but already during the war, will be rebuilt. Big project, major. We ask ourselves, how can we be part of this? A small country. Most of our companies, small companies. How can we be part of it? Because by the time everybody else is already joining it in the party, it might be usually too late for us. Because then size starts to really matter. For us to reap the benefits of these huge processes, we need to be present before others. We need to be there before all the global conglomerates arrive. We need to have the relationships. It's going back to the importance of cooperation. We need to have the relationships. We need to have the image, the positive track record that could then be built on by the time really big things start to happen. So we don't want to be late. And that's why we're investing in Africa. That's why we're building those relationships. And we expect the numbers to demonstrate that we're on the right path.
Yeah. And to find the right unicorn in Cote d'Ivoire to invest in.
Exactly.
We have to be there.
if Cote d'Ivoire is going to have a unicorn, then I hope some Estonian company is an investor in the unicorn before it becomes a unicorn.
Thank you.
Okay, with that hope in mind, I would like to thank the, not panelists, but chatters and invite over Joel, who will be introducing the breakout sessions, which will start soon. So, thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you very much.